said disinterest and ignorance aren't the same thing. But who am I to speak with such authority? There's good men with bad hearts.
Hello and welcome to Old Faithful. I'm your host, Matt Trask. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and sharing, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Please support my friends here at Haggerty's Music Works. Subscribe to their channel. My thanks to Haggerty's Music Works. To the incredible Johnny Hastings, making me and my guests look good on camera. Remember, my friends at Black Hills Blend Espresso, 4 convenient locations here in Rapid City. That's enough preamble. My guest today is double thanks to Haggerty's for lending us Patrick Fahey, who works here.
Hello.
Among other things, he has become the villainous guitar store employee in local sensation Bodie Lindy's short video.
Yeah.
And you do a fine job.
Yeah, actually, those are just candid. I'm always just yelling at him in real life, to stop touching everything and
right.
being a menace. So
sure.
They just started kind of filming him.
So you are Patrick Fahey.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And just go ahead and tell us. We've got a guitar. The more I look at it, the more questions I have. But first, tell us all about you.
Well, my name is Pat, or Patrick, either one. I don't have a preference. I work here at Haggerty's, and I've worked here for the last 2 years. I play guitar, mostly acoustic guitar, a little bit of electric guitar too. I actually play bass in a band called Modern Folklore, and also in another group called Siren and the Ivans. So that's kind of what I have going on musically, I guess, for right now. The guitars that I brought with me today are just a few of the ones that I have. This is my acoustic guitar, which is kind of the cooler one, and like story-wise, I guess. And then this is my electric guitar, which is a Lux Tone. They're kind of very different guitars in terms of origin stories. This is a pretty much brand new guitar. It's like about 6 months old. We are a dealer for Lux Tone guitars here at Haggerty's, and I actually...
Nice job.
Yeah.
With the plug,
right,
dude.
yeah, I have to, yeah. There's not a ton of these. It's basically just one guy that makes them. And I designed this one for store stock. And when it came in, I just couldn't live without it. So
It's purple. But let's go back. Tell us what got you into music in the first place. Were your parents musicians? An older brother?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like my first guitar really was like kind of a hand-me-down. This is kind of like a hand-me-down type thing that has just kind of gone through the family.
Okay.
I really kind of picked into guitar after. So my sister went through like a really heavy punk rock phase, like
all right,
like a legit one with like a mohawk,
oh,
and like the tall.
Speaking of mohawks, could you please take your cap off for a second?
Right, yeah. Sorry,
there we go.
Hat hair because I've been working all day, but
comes by it honestly. Yeah. So back to your sister.
Yeah. So yeah, she went through like a punk rock phase and started playing guitar for a little bit, and it was just a phase kind of thing. And so I sort of inherited her guitar after the fact, and I just kind of stuck with it. It was just always something that I guess I really enjoyed.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know exactly what draws me to it other than maybe just being able to express myself through just playing an instrument and just kind of having that to always go to if I need to. It's just kind of finding solace in it, I suppose.
So was this that guitar?
That guitar was actually a Squier Strat.
Okay.
This is a different guitar. That, again, is just kind of a hand-me-down, sort of been around forever, and it's not really... I don't actually know the 100% origins of it. It's sort of just something that's always been in my life, as, just kind of the guitar in the corner.
Okay.
Sitting around a lot of the time. So... this guitar is a 1977 Norman B30. So Norman Guitars was Robert Godin's first guitar company.
Did not know.
Yeah. So he still makes guitars as Godin guitars, and then also with Seagull guitars.
Right.
So this is kind of like what a Seagull guitar would be like. Sort of like a precursor to that.
Okay.
It's like similar design and all that stuff. It's made in Canada, and it's been in really rough shape over the years. If you couldn't tell, I don't know if I can get it in there, but it's really beat up. And I've had Laura here at the store fix it multiple times.
Okay.
Glue the bridge back down, and there's a big crack right here that was like separating.
Okay.
It was kind of, I mean, I don't want to like compare it to Trigger, but it was kind of like that.
Well, close. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of honest playwear on the upper bout and right here, and that happens by hours and hours and years of playing. So multiple people have loved this guitar.
Yeah, it's just sort of a guitar that's been around a lot and been played a lot.
Do you remember do you have memories of someone in your family playing this before you did?
A little bit, kind of not really.
Or have you put most of that wear on it?
I haven't put most of the wear on it again. It's like something that I don't necessarily know 100% the origins of it. It's just kind of the thing that was like sitting around a lot.
I'm discovering that I love a mystery guitar more than I love a guitar
I
we
do
have
too.
a story for.
I've always loved ugly duckling guitars. They're kind of just weird, special, different guitars. Anything that's like unique.
And speaking of weird, special, and unique, could you turn it around backwards? For an acoustic guitar, this is the, dare I say, damnedest neck I have ever seen.
Yeah.
There is no heel here.
Yeah.
It's a bolt-on, apparently.
It is a bolt-on.
And 2 bolts. Is that it?
I guess, and the thing is that I don't know if this is, I think this is actually how it's designed.
It looks that way.
Yeah, so some people have speculated that there was a heel and it got cut off right here. You can see it's sort of like a thin point right there.
Right.
But I don't know, looking at it, I don't think, I haven't really seen many other ones like this. There aren't a lot of these out there because it's not a company that has been around forever. So it's just basically kind of, I don't know. I think it's designed that way, or maybe it was modified that way. But
very uneducated opinion, it looks like there was a strap button on here to begin with.
I think there used to be. Yeah,
I think that was how this guitar came from the factory.
Probably, yeah. I've always put a strap through here when I wear a strap with this guitar.
You got it?
But,
I'm gonna let go now.
Oh yeah, I got it.
All right. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something, and now I can't remember. Oh yes, I know what I was gonna say. Is the neck pretty stable?
Seems so. I mean, the truss rod doesn't. So Laura has it set up really well right now.
Right.
And I actually, she got it done like right before we started filming this, which is good because like earlier the condition it was in, it just wasn't sounding very good. It wasn't playing very good. The action was kind of high. Intonation was sort of off, but it sounds like seems like she's got it. Yeah. Did a really good job.
Sure. Other things we can talk about, there is possibly tortoiseshell binding on the front.
There is.
But no binding on the back, which is somewhat unusual.
It maybe fell off.
I don't think it, again, uneducated opinion, but I think that's the way it came from the factory.
See, that's funny. I've actually never thought about it like that. It's just the guitar looks the way it does to me.
Right.
But, when you're looking at it, there is no, like, sign that there was.
Some of the economy models of Martins back in the day came with no binding.
Yeah, and that's, it's kind of a similar thing because, so there's, like, Godin guitars, and then there's Seagull, which is sort of the more affordable line from Godin, and I think this is basically like the precursor, sort of like the prototype company for Seagull. So it's definitely a budget guitar because it's a bolt-on neck and that kind of thing.
Right. But people have loved it for a very long time.
It's a great guitar. I mean, it's also
1 year older than me.
Yeah, 77 is the year.
That you said it was 77. I'm a 78 model, so it's 1 year older than me.
Pretty close to the
now
same
you
year.
know how old I am. So we better talk more about this one.
All right. I'll let you hold that one.
Okay, perfect. Don't I look cool?
You do look cool. It's a really cool guitar, isn't it?
It is very cool. So you custom spec this for the store.
Yeah. So with Luxtone, it's a guy named Jerry. He's out in LA. It's kind of like a side gig for him, I think. He has like been a guitar tech around that area for a really long time, and he's done artist work with Fender, Charvel, and Jackson, which you might know if you've seen any other episodes from store employees here who also have Luxtone guitars. So since we're a dealer for him, he does make guitars kind of as one-offs, but he doesn't really ever do the same thing twice. And so we just send in order forms, and it takes 6 to 8 months to get them. And so I designed this one, just kind of thought about what I would want in a guitar, which was HSS hardtail Strat in metallic purple. So
it is a hardtail. Somehow that
hardtail.
had escaped me.
Yeah.
Hardtail meaning that the strings go through the body, which is unusual on an S-style guitar because they usually have a tremolo system. Yeah.
And I don't like the tremolos. I don't like the fuss with it. So I just decided to not even have it put into this guitar.
Many, many, many people say there is a tonal difference.
I'm sure. Well, everything you do to a guitar, like every little thing that you could possibly change will make it somewhat different in whatever way. But
sure. So tell us about, so they get this guitar in, they take delivery of it, and you sat down and played it. Did you know the first time you played it that it must be yours?
I knew pretty much right after I filled out the order form.
Oh, so we were kidding ourselves here, people.
Yeah. So the whole thing is like I designed it, and I was thinking, well, what would I want in a guitar? And the cool thing is it's really like doing like Fender Custom Shop, but it's less expensive than Fender Custom Shop. So yeah, pretty much as soon as I filled out that order form, I knew it was going to be. I couldn't really bear to see anybody else play it or own it, I guess, is the thing. I've always been very like particular about like my instruments and the way they look. I want them to look like mine, or I don't want my instruments to look like anybody else's.
Sure.
Just really want to be original with it and stuff, so you can't really get much more original than that. So.
Right. We do have to talk about Modern Folklore and Siren and the Ivans, and I'm super glad you didn't bring it because we only have so much time on the show. But is that your bass guitar?
The pink one?
Is it pink?
Yeah.
Well, there goes where I was going with that. I thought it was Fiesta Red.
Oh, it is not. It is pink.
Okay.
It is like a magenta pink.
Really?
It's hard to tell in the lights sometimes.
Okay.
So I actually had Laura working on that one yesterday.
Okay.
I just got a new neck for it. I put a Fender Jazz neck on it.
Oh, wow.
So,
my.
That would have been a cool one to bring in.
So it is, in fact, pink now, and that's your guitar. Mm-hmm. What inspired you to buy a pink bass?
Well, I joined Modern Folklore back in August. They were in need of a bass player, and I didn't really consider myself a bass player. I just was a guitar player that had a bass, and I didn't really like the bass I had. It was just kind of a cheap Squire bass, which are fine. It's just I didn't like the tone for it. It was a jazz bass, and I wanted a precision. So I went on Reverb, and I found a no-name unbranded bass that was like this shade of pink that I really liked. It was a P-bass copy. And the guy had already replaced a few things like the bridge and the pickup and the tuners.
Okay.
And so it wasn't very, I think it was like $250. And so I bought it right away. And the only thing I didn't like about it was the neck was a little bit thick for my taste. And also some of the frets were kind of wonky. So there was some intonation issues.
Right.
So I just ordered a new neck from Fender, and I had Laura put it on and set it up. So.
And the new neck from Fender fit on the no-name bass?
Not quite. She had to re-drill some holes, I think. So,
all right.
Yeah, because it wasn't a Fender bass. I don't know what brand it was.
Sure.
They had erased the name on the headstock.
Sure.
It was just some cheap kind of knockoff thing. But right now the only actual original part of it is the body. The rest of it is completely. Yeah.
So, do you do any of the songwriting in either Modern Folklore or Siren and the Ivans?
I don't. With Modern Folklore, there's so many other brilliant musicians working together in that that it's so Josh Shepard and Dexter Carmen are kind of the main guys for Modern Folklore. It's sort of their group. They kind of trade off singing songs, and so they do all the writing, and I kind of just stepped into that. And anything new I guess we've done, I sort of will throw an idea out or two, but I'm not involved in the actual writing process. They just churn stuff out all on their own. So.
But you have written songs. When did you start writing songs?
I think I was probably about 18, maybe.
Okay.
When I started writing acoustic guitar songs. And
all right. Had we written some punk songs before that?
I mean, yeah, but nothing that I really,
or something.
I'm mad that I'm grounded.
That's a terrible punk rock.
Power
I'm
chords.
a country guy. Yeah, right.
I'm sure I did, but I didn't. Nothing that really ever I could take seriously. But I kind of got more into it when I was about 18.
Okay, all right.
19 is when I kind of started getting more into playing guitar.
All right.
And then from there, I just started writing stuff, and yeah, I'm still writing songs to this day. So like for my songs that I write, like I kind of keep them mostly to an acoustic guitar.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just something that I guess my style of writing for like acoustic guitar doesn't necessarily fit with like the bands that I'm in. It's
Sure.
kind of an indie rock thing.
Right.
This is kind of just singer-songwriter type stuff that I write.
Uh-huh. So do you perform much out original music by yourself? Or?
I don't.
I noticed this
Yeah.
beautiful Norman guitar does not have electronics.
It does not, no. I do have another acoustic that has a pickup, just a cheap Martin.
Okay.
That I actually broke recently. I fell while I was walking up the stairs, and I broke it, so.
We always love a good I fell while walking down the stairs
I was,
story.
walking up the stairs, and I slipped. I was holding the guitar like this.
Right.
And I caught myself, like, with the guitar.
Oh,
I messed it up pretty good.
you
but,
got to be careful in the wintertime. Did it not have a case?
No, I was in my house, so.
Oh, you
Yeah,
were
I was
in your
coming from
house.
downstairs, going upstairs.
Walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay. So theoretically, there was no ice on the stairs.
No. They're just. I'm just clumsy.
You just
Yeah.
missed. I'm making
I-
you look worse and worse as this story goes on, and I do apologize. For
I mean, I consider myself like pretty like graceful and athletic,
Right.
like when I need to be, but
Right.
I'm really bad with stairs. For
Give you a
some- I
guitar and a set of stairs.
don't- Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just slip, I guess, on stage.
Is there anything else? What amplifier did you inherit from your sister?
I don't remember, but it was a big solid state Fender amp.
Really?
And I don't. What I remember about is that I didn't know anything about any of the knobs or buttons or on the guitar or on the amp, so I would just kind of turn
Right. Stop.
knobs until I thought it sounded cool for the, all the Metallica
Right.
that I was playing when I was 13 or whatever,
Sure.
So
Did it have built-in distortion or anything?
I think so. I think it might have been like a Champion 100, so it was
Okay.
like a 212.
Right.
It was a big amp, and it was a Squier Strat that I had, and I played it a lot when I was in like middle school. I just never even thought about any of that at all. Like I didn't
I
pay
see.
attention to electric guitar. I didn't start getting into that until much later in my life.
Okay.
So I gravitated mostly towards the acoustic because
I
it's
see.
so much easier. Like
Right.
having an amp and a guitar when you don't know anything about it and like are too lazy to just look it up, I guess.
Right.
I would just rather play a guitar without plugging it in or without having to fuss with
Sure.
settings and things because it kind of takes me out of the mood of being a guitar player. Having to kind of dial in my tone and that.
This is an unusual sentiment from a guitar player. Usually we want to go electric right away, but
Right.
you were quite happy picking up the Norman.
Yeah.
And what amp do we play this beautiful guitar through now?
I just got an amp. It's a Trainer 40-watt amp that
Wow.
is something that it's kind of busted up, needs some tubes, and it needs a new reverb tank. But I got a good deal on it. It's a good amp. It's kind of everything I need in an amp is like an amp that just has reverb and then also has overdrive built
Sure.
right into it.
Okay.
So just like a boost.
And we gravitate toward Canadian musical instrument companies, don't we?
I guess. Is Trainer Canadian?
Trainer is
I did
Canadian.
not know that. Yeah, I didn't know anything about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine little amp maker.
I guess
Sure.
I do like Canadian products.
We've got a little time. Do you have any pedals? Do you have a pedal board?
Yeah, so I like about a year ago, I had like an insane pedal board set up.
Sure.
And I think it's kind of part of like working here at the store,
Oh,
like an
absolutely.
employee discount and stuff. And
Right.
I'm always around music stuff,
Right.
so it's really easy for me to get kind of like. So when I first started working here about 2 years ago is when I like really got into electric guitar for
Right.
the first time because I had so much access to, pedals and amps and things like that. And so I had a pretty crazy setup, but I've toned that back just because of what I was talking about earlier. Is that I found that I was messing with my pedals more than I was actually playing guitar.
Sure. Yeah.
And I still love crazy pedals. Like
Right.
the Boss SY1 synth pedal is my favorite thing in the world.
Wow.
But I don't use it much anymore.
Sure.
Or lately, I guess I haven't been, especially with like playing with modern folklore. So like the only pedals I'm really using with that are just stuff with the bass and fuzz
Okay.
and the tuner.
Fuzz and a tuner.
Yeah, pretty much.
What amp do you go through in modern folklore?
I got a Ampeg PF 500 head.
Okay.
With a little 210 cab, and I actually mainly run it out of the just into the mixer out of the direct out. So the cab is really mostly just for myself, like a little monitor when I'm on stage.
Sure.
But we got a pretty decent sound system, so most of the bass sound when I'm playing and with the band is just coming out of the mains.
There you go. Well, are you ready to play a song for us?
I suppose, yeah.
Let me do my little thing here. Remember my sponsorship with Trask Hay LLC, very relevant to a guitar show. You know, Trask Hay LLC, large, round, and square bales, and more importantly, custom haying services. You may need somebody to put up your hay next summer. Call Joe Trask, 515-0858. Because we talk so much about Canada, Terry Clark says, change your strength. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Fahey.
All right.
Patience and disinterest and ignorance aren't the same thing. But who am I to speak with such authority? There's good men with bad hearts, bad men with good ones, and I can't tell which one is which. And I don't think I get it, 'cause my mother told me pay attention in the classroom. Every single word on every single page and still don't understand. So I've been thinking maybe I'm a fool. Maybe I'm a fool, but at least I got my manners still. 'Cause I'd rather be enjoyable than right. Maybe you're too cool, maybe you just have a stronger will. But I'd rather not get up in arms tonight. No, not tonight. Apocalypse don't concern me. You couldn't think that I can change the outcome. There's good things and bad dreams, and there's sheep with sharp teeth, and it don't matter which is which. I know I don't get it, 'cause I really try to pay attention in the classroom. And I read every single word on every single page and still don't understand. So I've been thinking I must be a fool. Maybe I'm a fool, but at least I keep an open mind. And I'll never claim I know what's best for you. Maybe it's too soon, but I've never been too good with time. And I'd rather not do this at all tonight. No, not tonight. Just not tonight. No, not tonight. Just not tonight.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.